Today, we're taking a look at what 9 and 10-year-olds are learning about technology. And I'm telling you, it is absolutely not what you'd expect. So let's dive in.
Just take a second and think back. For me, and probably for a lot of you, it was all about learning to type on those clunky keyboards. Maybe you got to play around in a super basic drawing program. It was foundational, sure, but compared to what's happening now, it's a completely different universe.
So this is a textbook, a current information and communications technology textbook for 4th graders in Egypt. And yeah, you can pretty much forget about typing drills. That friendly little robot on the cover, it's basically inviting kids into a world of artificial intelligence and really complex data.
So you gotta ask, what are they actually learning in here? Let's crack this thing open and really see what the next generation is getting into. Because this is clearly way more than just how to use a computer. It's about understanding its true power.
Okay, so let's get into Unit 1. The theme alone tells you everything you need to know. The role of technology in our lives. Right away, it frames technology not as some separate nerdy subject, but as something that's woven into pretty much everything we do.
And this is where things get really wild. The very first lesson isn't, how to turn on the computer. It's tools of scientific exploration. They're immediately putting technology into this amazing context of adventure and discovery, kind of like you're an archaeologist about to go on a dig.
And the book defines it just like that. It's telling these kids that tech is a tool you can use to uncover hidden treasures and actual lost history. I mean, what an incredible way to introduce some pretty sophisticated concepts, right?
Okay, so if you're going to be a high-tech explorer, you're going to need some pretty high-tech gear. The textbook gets right into it, and trust me, we are not talking about rulers and protractors here.
Get this. We're talking about 4th graders learning about GPS, magnetometers, and ground-penetrating radar. I mean, these are real-world tools that scientists and engineers are using every single day. It's like they're treating them like junior scientists from day one.
So first up, they're learning about GPS. And it's not just about, how to get directions to your friend's house. It's about its scientific use, using this whole network of satellites orbiting the Earth to pinpoint the exact location of, say, an archaeological dig.
But here's the puzzle, right? Once GPS gets you to the right spot, how do you find what you're looking for without having to dig up like an entire desert? The textbook actually poses this question, and then it introduces the amazing tools that have the answer.
And this is the brilliant part. They're basically teaching kids that technology can give you a superpower. The ability to see things that are totally invisible, hidden right there beneath your feet.
The book breaks it down really simply. You've got the magnetometer, which uses magnetic fields to find metal things, like old coins or tools. And then you have ground-penetrating radar, or GPR, which sends signals into the Earth to basically create a picture of whatever's down there, maybe the foundations of an ancient building.
Now what's so smart about this curriculum is that the whole adventure thing, that's only half the story. If you look at the table of contents again, you see that after they cover all the exciting discovery tools, the focus takes a really dramatic shift. Let's jump into Unit 2.
Unit 2 is called Precautions and Digital Safety. And this is where everything pivots from what you can do with technology to what you should do. And honestly, it's such a critical part of a modern tech education.
And just look at these lesson titles. This is not surface-level stuff. They are tackling the hard topics head-on, the real dangers of the internet, using technology ethically, how to do research safely, and the whole concept of a digital footprint. They're teaching kids that every single click leaves a trail.
So you see the core idea here, right? It's a 1-2 punch. On one hand, you give students these incredibly powerful tools for exploration and creativity. But at the exact same time, you give them the wisdom and the rules to use that power safely and responsibly.
So what's the big picture here? When you put it all together, the high-tech adventure and this deep dive into safety, what kind of person are you trying to build?
The end goal is pretty clear. This isn't about training kids to just be passive consumers of technology. It's about empowering them to be active, capable, and, this is the most important part, ethical and safe digital citizens who really understand both the potential and the pitfalls of these tools.
And they're not just reading about it either. This is an actual assignment from the book. They're asking students to research one of these tools and then create a presentation on it. They're basically being asked to become the explainers themselves, which, as we all know, is the best way to really learn something.
So when you have a 10-year-old who understands both ground-penetrating radar and digital ethics, it really leads you to a pretty powerful question. with a foundation this advanced, what is this generation actually going to be capable of building? The possibilities are, well, they're just staggering.